Hey guys, how's it going? Kire here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in today's video, we finally are starting to get the holiday events coming our way. First one being we got a Harvest Jack Legendary Fusion. So let's dive in. Let's take a look at this, see how good it is, see what the requirements are, and should we get him or should we maybe pass on this event? So you can check this out in game. Breaks it all down here. The characters that are going to be required to fuse him are going to be right here. Let's pull it up. Harvest Jack, Legendary. It needs Swanee Firstborn, Maeve. We need Haikatoon, and we also need Lady Atesia. So, and there are also a lot, and so it's a temporary fusion. We got 2 weeks. It's very similar to like very similar to the Foley event. It's going to be mostly you could fuse these guys. This chick is going to be, this Void character is probably going to be an event, probably a high requirement event, maybe a champion training event. That's usually how it works. Currently, we have a Dungeon Divers event that you can get Mother Superior and I believe this guy here, this Beast Wrestler. So, event. Let's take a look at the character. Look at it. I haven't really gotten too much of a look at him, but I think he is very cool. A lot of it's really going to depend on his scaling because he's a purely HP scaling character. So first, let's take a look at his kit. So his A1 is it attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target. Each hit also has a 25% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn if the target has no active buffs. This chance is increased to 100% if all buffs are stolen from the target. So pretty cool. These effects are not really going to be something for the clan boss, but they are very good effects. 3 hit on basic is going to be good. And pretty much 3 hit on basic is very solid A1. I think it's very cool that he's an HP scaling champion. I think he has a lot of potential in dungeons, in faction wars, and in arena, especially with this A1. But let's keep going. So A2 is going to be attacks all enemies, places a blocks buffs debuff for 2 turns on targets under the fear debuffs, removes any increased attack buff from the target and replaces them with a 50% decrease. A decreased attack debuff for 2 turns, removes any continuous heal buff from that target and replaces them with a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. The number of poison debuffs is equal to the number of continuous heal buffs removed. So this is very cool. It's giving us more options to the meta, especially the more I look at this guy's kit, the more I see an arena character. I can see this. You're going second, like they have their speed booster. You place this move, his A2 flips all their attack buffs into debuffs. They have like bad L. They now have all poisons instead of continuous heals. So very cool. Certain dungeons, this could actually be pretty helpful. He just seems overall a good, like, tanky bruiser-ish. The only question I have is because when you're evaluating a character, you just have to try him. I want to see how he feels damage-wise. I really hope he doesn't hit like a noodle. I'm not expecting some nuker here, but I'm hoping that he at least hits kind of hard. And then last, his A3 is attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance or a 100% chance when booked. Placing a true fear debuff for 1 turn, also places a 30% decrease speed debuff for 2 turns and decreases each target's turn meter by 15% if the true fear buff is placed. So that's going to be guaranteed to happen. And then has a 75% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn if the true fear debuff is not placed. So I'm wondering if this is going to proc even if it's resisted. Usually I don't think that's the case because it's a 100% chance, because that would mean it would have to check the resistance twice. Interesting move. I think it's very cool because it has a lot of potential to completely wipe out multiple turns. So it's going to be reducing turn meter, which is great. Like AoE reduced turn meter. It's going to true fear. So that means that you have a coin flip on each skill that they try to do. It might just waste their turn. And they're going to get decreased speed. So a whole bunch of debuffs here. I think it's a very cool. First, I think this kit just seems really fun and really good too. It doesn't seem an underpowered kit. He doesn't sound meta defining to me. I don't think he's one of the absolute top legendaries, but I think he is very good and worth pursuing. So, and then lastly, we got his his passive here. So when attacked, decrease the duration of all buffs on the attacker by 1 turn. So it's okay. I think the more I read this guy, the more I'm seeing arena and dungeons, specifically arena. I think he'd be a pretty interesting character to try out in arena. Because as the game goes, currently we're in a nuke meta. It'd be really cool to have these characters that can survive the nuke and maybe flip the meta. The more characters like Mountain King, characters like him that are doing damage based on HP, and in Mountain King's case, it's attack and HP. This guy's case is just purely HP. But then instead of just having these, glass cannons, so having more characters like this is interesting for the game, and we'll see. It's going to take a lot of time because I feel like a lot of people have built up all these nukers, but I think the meta could potentially start shifting into a tanky, counterattack bruiser meta with more characters like this. So then I guess lastly, I want to kind of touch on what I think on should you go for him. I think, let me pull up the fusion here. So for this dude, I think it's really going to depend on how well they implement her and some of the void rares. So if you already have the void rares, you're probably in a really good spot. I would recommend, I guess let me pause and back up here. So the first thing is these epics here. I think all but Haikatoon. I think this chick is a very top tier character, and a lot of people that, especially free to play exclusively, everyone got her for free. I've seen her in multiple like Ultra Nightmare class teams, so she's a very good character. You can use her pretty much everywhere. So I would recommend fusing a second one and using it for this fusion. But then everyone else, they're very underwhelming characters, and I would easily like crush these guys to go into this Harvest Jack fusion. But the question is going to be, how hard is this event? If it's a champion training event like Foley, I think I'm totally going to go for it. As long as they don't do the bait and switch at the very end for one of these rare characters here. So I really hope that they, this is a holiday event. This should be a fun event. They shouldn't be trying to snipe us with some, shady tactics for money. I really hope they don't do that, especially for an event like this. They're already on to a good start with this event here. This champion training event seems this Dungeon Divers event seems pretty chill. You get 2 of the rares right here. Doesn't take too much. Just, some auto clicking in the dungeon. So I'll do a little bit of that. Get your Dragon 20s in, get your Spider 20s in. And then we just gotta hope that they actually give us a fair, events for the rest of them. This tournament here, I was nervous here because this is a champion chase tournament, and it gives you this, rare, like a void rare. And I was like, oh, here we go. But he's not involved in the fusion from what I can see. So, if I would already be bummed and not want to do this event if this was one of the rare characters, rare void characters for this event. All right, guys. Well, I think that should do it for this video. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing, and you have a good one. Peace.